Hello, hello, and welcome to the broadcast today, Woman of Power, Immense Love. This is such a treat to be here. For me, it's a real treat to be here, to be sharing today and to be talking about love and what love means for me and for us as a collective, as women, as we bring our work forwards in the world, and how we can embrace love more fully for our own lives. So welcome in wherever you are on this planet. It's just a joy to be here and to be sharing right now. Because I know that for me, it's like 8 o'clock in the evening. And where, if you're in the States, if you're in Mountain Time, that's lunchtime. So you've got some time to get to 8 o'clock. For me, it's kind of winding down to the end of the day. So this is perfect for you as a little spritz in the middle of the day. To remember who you are as love. Welcome here. It's great to be with you here. If you'd like to put your comments in, let me know who you are, what's on your mind. If you are feeling the joy and the fullness of love and living in that overflow of love right now, or maybe not. Maybe you're feeling slightly depleted, deflated, and not quite in the in the flow of the love that's always here. On Wednesdays, I give, that's tomorrow night, I share a global love meditation. It's always so great to be here for that, because there's a group of individuals that are on Zoom at the same time, and you can join here live also. And it always really just fills my heart to know that we as human spirit, human beings, we are seeking to discover more of who we are as love. And we try in all these different ways to cover it up and to with the messaging we're giving ourselves and the way we behave and talk and the attitudes that we have. We're very good at creating layers in our minds and around our hearts that can block us from believing in the flow of love that's always here. And I think that as human spirit, human beings, our work is to unravel and go deeper, and to kind of dissolve those barriers that we create. I mean, they're not real. They're illusionary. And this is the veil that so often we hear spiritual teachers talking about, that the veil can be lifted. Well, there is no veil. That's what I'm here to say. There is no veil. It's just that we choose to not settle into the immense love that's here, the love of the divine, the love of God. And we forget. So we're on a journey, an adventure of remembering, continually remembering and reminding ourselves who we are. And when there's all of these things going on in the day and in our lives that can kind of pull us away from that, because there are situations, complications, discussions to be had, understanding other people, coming from that place of compassion when there may be, a little bit of angst in there. All of this is happening so that we can have this deeper opportunity to connect with ourselves and to do that work to return to love, as Marianne Williamson wrote a whole book on that, Return to Love. And actually, I created a song called Return to Love. So I'm not copying Marianne. I'm just coining the phrase for myself as a song. There we go. No copyright involved. But it is true, I believe, that as spiritual human beings, we're on a journey of deconditioning. And if only we take the time in our lives and in our day to remind ourselves and to remember the love that we innately are. And then we get to see and be as life in a very different way. We get to make decisions and choices from a different place. It's like we're also supported as love as we open up to the love, then we are shown the way as love. And this for me is very exciting, because I know with these teachings that as we go deeper into the teachings, we have an opportunity to see that the outer experience is mirroring itself to us. We are seeing that reflection and knowing that reflection of who we are by looking at our lives. So if we can see our lives as love, then that is going to be reflected back, and that's going to come back in all sorts of ways. Love through avenues, through other people, through finances, through opportunities, the way that we meet people, the conversations that we have, all of it. If it's going to come back in the way that we intend it out with our attitude in life. I was really guided before this program to look at Mother Teresa, and I found this beautiful quote. There are so many of her quotes. Look at that. It's not about how much you do, but how much love you put into what you do that counts. And of course, Mother Teresa's life was led as love. Some would say that she gave up. Well, I say she gave of herself on the streets of Calcutta, really being there for those that were really in need. And at that point of desperation, there she was as the light of love. And she, I believe, is the woman of power for today. I think that if we can look at women like Mother Teresa, individuals like Mother Teresa, who are giving of themselves, and yet know that as they're giving, they're not depleting themselves. She was, I've heard it say, an extremely feisty individual. She knew how to fundraise. She was a millionairess, or not heiress, she was a millionaire. There we go. She understood the power of conversation, and she understood the power of what she was doing in the world. She attracted a lot of attention, not because she was kind of out there doing a lot of, kind of self-promotion, but because she was in her heart doing what really, really, really mattered to her. And she gave of as herself into the love of her life, which was being in service, as service to humanity. And that pulled in a lot of attraction for her, because she was doing amazing, amazing, amazing work in the world. And she managed to get funding. I mean, she was a great fundraiser. She knew what she was doing, and she knew the circles that she would be more affluent, the affluent circles that would be good for her to mix in. And she understood that she needed money in the world to be able to do what she needed to do. And I think this is an amazing message here, because here I see a woman that chose to live very simply, to burst open her heart and to give into life as herself. And yet she was not afraid of saying yes and receiving the prosperity that was here for her. This is a powerful message for us as we go forwards with our work in the world, to be open and to be giving from that overflow, and to know that God is our source, to know that there is so much more than enough than we could ever imagine, and not to have fear in what we're doing and holding back if there's something in our heart that is calling us to absolutely go for it. We have these women to look to and at, and to embody their characteristics, to be inspired by for our lives right now in 2022. There's a lot of work to be done in the world. If you were watching this show, the very first one, which was a month ago, when Christine Kamasi came on here, and I will be having guests on here. There is a wonderful guest coming on in a couple of weeks. But just to go back to Christine and the work that she's doing in Africa as a practitioner, and also other practitioners in Kenya, Science of Mind, Centers for Spiritual Living, practitioners that are in ministerial, in the ministerial educational track, and they're doing amazing work in the world. And I think that it's our time to really shine up and shine forwards with what we're doing, even if, of course, if it doesn't have a spiritual slant to it, or be guided because of a spiritual message. What we're doing, and what many women are doing, does not have a spiritual message, and yet it has an absolute intention for a humanitarian and social intention for justice. And this, of course, is a spiritual message. It's a spiritual intention. It's for fairness. It's for people to live their best lives and not feel that they're not free. And freedom is one of my top values. To know that I am free to choose, free to think, free to do what I know is right and what fills my heart. And when we live into that value, our values, our top values, we see our lives unfolding in the most incredible of ways. And more of us are doing that right now. More and more of us are standing up and saying, this is who I am. This is what I want to be. This is how I'm shaping my life. Just like Mother Teresa, she felt so compelled to do what she did that it was beyond her human choice. Actually, this was just who she is as a spirit human being on this planet right now, or when she was alive doing the work that she was doing in the world. So I'm going to look at this a little bit more deeply, and I'm going to read something here from the Tao Te Ching that was written thousands and thousands of years ago by Lao Tzu. And I love this because it really reminds me of the divine feminine, which is that we're coming from this place of collaboration, of not competing, of being in the flow and going with life rather than trying to get and make it happen. And I think for many women, these are messages that have come through and that we've chosen to hang on to for our lives, because they're the patriarchal, masculine, kind of generating message of years gone by. That would be, if we're looking at spiral dynamics, that would kind of be the blue and the orange, and now we're moving into that turquoise and yellow, which is coming away from me, and it's we're together in this, and this is a unity and a union of humanity. And this passage really, really resonates with me, that I want to read right now. So bend and you will be whole, curl and you will be straight. Keep empty and you will be filled. Grow old and you will be renewed. It's just such a play on polarity here. Have little and you will gain. Have much and you will be confused. Therefore, the sage embraces the one and becomes a pattern to all under heaven. The sage does not make a show of themselves, hence they shine. Does not justify themselves, hence they become known. Does not boast of their ability, hence they get credit. Does not brandish their success, hence they endure. Does not compete with anyone, hence no one can compete with them. Indeed, the ancient saying, bend and you will remain whole, is no idle word. Nay, if you have really attained wholeness, everything will flock unto you. Isn't this so powerful? It's like he's saying, when we're empty, when we're coming from that place of letting go, or allowing space for our lives, because we try and cram so much into our lives and into our minds and our hearts. We try and cram so many ideas and concepts of who we are. When we can let go of all of that and be the spirit human being that we are, and be in the flow of life and allowing the experience rather than trying to manipulate it, that we are whole. And I think what he's saying here is that when we stop looking outside of ourselves to be filled, we see the divine light that is already here, because our attention then, our focus is on the divinity within, rather than on trying to, compete or be like others, or show off, or be the most wanted, kind of influencer out there. No judgment on this whatsoever. It's just this other way of seeing it and living our lives that really, really, really turns me on, really appeals to me. It's like not seeking to try and get anything. And I believe this is what she was saying here when she was saying this. It's not about how much you do, but how much love you put into what you do that counts. So we can come from that overflow of love in every area of our lives, in everything that we're doing. And if you feel that your day is crazy because there's so much going on, it doesn't mean, that doing less and being more. It doesn't mean, not actually owning everything that needs doing. It means setting that intention before entering into it and coming at it from a different place, not from a place of desperation, from a place of, I am in charge of this within myself. I can go with this, rather than trying or getting into some kind of a overwhelm when things aren't going the way that we think they need to be going. Because that is life. It's gonna be that we are seeing the polarity constantly. Hello, welcome here. Welcome, Frankie. It's great to be with you here. You've tuned into the Love Woman of Power show. It's on title, I know. It's kind of a merging together of how we show up as the divine feminine for our lives, and how we flow as life, with life, rather than going against it. And the way that I believe that we empower ourselves is with knowing the love that is beyond the human love. Although of course we love ourselves and we honor ourselves, and we know our worth and our value. And it's tapping into the divine, the divine flowing and knowing of love that is always here. The love of God, of spirit. How often are we so wrapped up in the day? We're so wrapped up in the to-do list. Yes. Good. You're with me here. We're so wrapped up in the to-do list, and the to-be list just gets kind of, well, it's not even existent. So I'm reminding us to be here. We have a lot of work to do in the world. We have some great and amazing and inspirational projects, and all sorts of wonderful, creative, soul-stirring, passion projects to bring forwards in this life. And as women, we're here supporting each other. There is no, this sense of any competing. It's like, let's all join together. Let's be together as one, supporting each other, sharing with each other, a sharing economy, a gifting economy, where we're one, knowing that we are here to serve each other and uplift each other as we bring these projects forwards in our lives, for other people as well. So we're all lifted as one together. That's what this show is all about. And every week it's either me on my own or a guest. Every other week, sorry, because every other week is Wisdom of the Mystics with Reverend Kathy Mastroianni. That'll be here next Tuesday. So I'm kind of alternating in between the Wisdom of the Mystics show, which is really beautiful to do. I'm feeling very grateful. And I didn't even put my little banner up. That's weird. It's usually up there. There we go. I have to say, I'm a New Thought Media Network, of course. This powerful, going to get the New Thought Media Network, this powerful focus ministry doing its thing every single day, shining out programs, prayers, conversations, music, entertainment, education, all sorts of wonderful, wonderful offerings that inspire us to lift into the divinity and the magnificence that we truly are. By the way, check out the website, the New Thought Media Network website, because it's looking good at the moment and there's a lot of great information on there. So where am I? I'm talking about Mother Teresa and Lao Tzu. That's a great combo for today. Mother Teresa and what she knew about love and being that absolute, it's the depth of this quote that I really love. It's not about how much you do, but how much love you put into what you do that counts. I love it. Because we are programmed and wired to just do it all and to have this long list and to be kind of so super busy and scattered with all of this stuff. And what about going deep? And I talked about this with Reverend Dr. Edward Villion yesterday. We were on the Cosmic Prayer. We were talking about going deep into prayer and not just side washing all of this spiritual practice and kind of, oh yeah, you know, it's great. I'm going to do my meditation and I'm going to do my practice. Actually really going deep into spiritual practice. And I think today what I'm saying is, let's go deep into how we are with the spiritual practice of humanness, because I believe that being human is a spiritual practice. And how many times have you sat in meditation? And I put my hand up here. You can't see my hand. I'm putting my hand up here to this as well. How many times have we meditated or had an amazing, you know, visualization or visioning and prayer, spiritual mind treatment or contemplation, or been in nature and really just known that, kind of really embracing and embodying a spiritual practice. And then like 20 minutes later, there's something happening on the phone with somebody and we lose it. Or not, no, I don't mean lose it like, you know, lose it. But what I mean is losing that idea of this eternal and infinite connection with the divine. We can't lose it. I didn't mean it like that. What I mean is we come away from it and get sucked into humanness and maybe responding and reacting in a way that is not coming from that higher place, that higher frequency, the divine template, as Eric Butterworth calls it. And so being human is a spiritual practice, because when we're engaged with the divinity, you know, living heaven on earth, actually living heaven on earth, then, you know, those three worlds that we talk about in spiritual community, where the world of spirit, the world of being grounded here on planet Earth as a human being, and the third world where we kind of bring those together and live our spirituality here with all of the seeming challenges that are going on in our lives. And that's what I love about what she's saying, is Mother Teresa, is that it's not about all this freneticness and trying to get everything done. It's how deep do we go in with love, with everything that we're doing in the moment. It's about being present, living in that present, the awareness of the now. So there have been many books written, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, and there are many teachings about living with that awareness. And we only have to practice mindfulness with a meditation on an app, and we're being present in the now. And then we bring that into our daily lives. So it doesn't become that we're practicing it at a certain time because it's an intentional practice, and then we go back into the kind of the everyday stuff, and it's like, 6 months now. Okay, 6 months for, please lengthen that sentence, because I think I may have said something about 3 months ago, 3 months ago, sorry, 3 minutes ago, and you've written 6 months now. So what is 6 months? Please tell me. I'd love to know. So this was what I wanted to share as women of power, bringing our work into the world, coming from this place of immense love, which is, of course, divine love, the divinity, of the magnificence that is here, shining in us and through each and every one of us, and tapping into the divine feminine as we walk in this world, as we birth the new. Whatever your project is, whatever you're bringing forwards, whatever your creative, beautiful unfolding is, just go deep into this and put love into all of it. It can be very easy just to be tapping away on the computer, for hours and hours, and really not really being mindful of the love that is coming through your fingers into the computer and through your heart. And this is the love of God. So it is about gratitude, ultimately, being grateful for every single thing. It's so interwoven, all of it. I'm going to read this again because I think you may have missed it the first time, and I'm going to kind of read it, and then that will be our final piece. I'm going to put the light on. So Tao Te Ching, written by Lao Tzu, who was this mystical human being who wrote these spiritual texts, wrote the spiritual text, 80 of them, or 81 of them, and they're so profound. And I often pick it up, this book, and read them just randomly, but nothing is random. And this was on this page, so I'm going to read the one that I've pulled in through today. Bend and you will be whole. Curl and you will be straight. Let's put this here. Keep empty and you will be filled. Grow old and you will be renewed. Have little and you will gain. Have much and you will be confused. Therefore, the sage embraces the one and becomes a pattern to all under heaven. Oh, I love that. The sage does not make a show of themselves, hence they shine. Does not justify themselves, hence they become known. Does not boast of their ability, hence they get credit. Does not brandish their success, hence they endure. Does not compete with anyone, hence no one can compete with them. Indeed, the ancient saying, bend and you will remain whole, is no idle word. Nay, if you have really attained wholeness, everything will flock to you. Isn't that incredible? This is the law of being. Yes, this is the law of being. I'm not going to say, if you really attain wholeness, everything will flock to you. We could say, oh, right, what he's really saying is this is kind of like the law of attraction. What we are, we magnetize and magnetize towards us, draw towards us. This is the law of being, because being, knowing that we are being whole, we are whole, perfect and complete. There's nothing outside of us, and there's no imperfection. We're perfect in the mind of the divine. So what he's saying here is that when we get that, when we know the wholeness of who we are, we don't need anything else to make anything better, because we already then know who we truly are. And this is the work. And as women of power, and as men of power, and as them of power, we take this into our hearts and we say, yes, we know our wholeness right now. And we be this as we go forwards in our moment by moment experience, bringing heaven in to earth, living in that third kind of world, and breathing through, being really mindful of the divine, of the immense love that is here and always, always, always here. And the great thing about this love is that it is the solution to any seeming problem that might be happening in your life or my life right now. Anything that we think is a challenge, we can turn to this love within us, and the solution is already there. It's beautiful. So I'm going to end the broadcast with this from Mother Teresa, and okay, and knowing love in my heart for you, and you know that love for yourself, because really that's all that matters. You're doing great work in the world, and stay with it, keep going, and know that you can tap into the love that is always, 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 always here. And that is it from me. Of course, New Thought Media Network is a global focus ministry. You can support the network. The donate link button is here, and you can find out more about the network on the website. Love and blessings to you as always. Peace in your heart. Stay in that knowing of love. There we go, Mother Teresa.